Sean is going to be healthier, more healthier than he was last year. There's good things. They got to find a linebacker in the middle of that defense as well. So not from a standpoint of George Pickens not being a premium. It's just more issues that will cause you to lose games as opposed to signing George Pickens and knowing your offense will go off. So I just think defensively it needs to be the priority this year.
What do you think, Cam?
I think that solves that. I mean, you say you should he get paid? Oh, absolutely. 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. Oh, he gonna get paid. And for every team that says they can't pay him, no, you can always figure out a way.
Yeah.
But is he the first priority? No. You'd say you'd have to shore up that secondary. You have Quentin Williams, that's great. You have Kenny Clark that can push the pocket. You had Jadeveon Clowney, who had 9 sacks this year. I mean, you had Dante Fowler. You have a D-line. Now, again, what connects those? The secondary. Yep. So can I say, yeah, you can pay George Pickens? Oh, he needs to be paid. But is that the first thing? No.
We've seen Jerry Jones take long times to figure out contracts, and maybe that's the situation here. What do you think, Matt?
I basically agree with both these guys who are great defensive players. I don't think you need 2 great receivers. They got one as it is in C.D. Lamb, where they're paying a fortune. You need another one now?
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle doesn't have 2 great receivers. The Patriots don't have 2 great receivers. Denver doesn't have 2 great receivers. They don't have one. There's only Nico Collins.
What's he talking about? Seattle doesn't have 2 great receivers? There's Cooper Kupp, a former MVP, and then you have
not enough money, though.
All right, continue.
On the money.
Not
on the money.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're paying Cooper, so that's my take. And they need. I'd rather have 4 guys making that money than paying a 1 guy. It's not the LA Dodgers, where there's no salary cap. You can get anybody you want. You have to organize that cap. And I'm with you. I'm not a capologist. So, and I love him too. Now, he makes me nervous because when things go wrong, he can have a tendency to fade. And that does make me nervous. I don't have to explain it to you.
I feel you.
But I understand how great he is. But I think you should allocate that money to some other areas of the team.
Let me say this, guys. A couple of things. Number one, by the way, the salary cap issue, it was $279. Now it's projected to be $301 to $305 million. So it's up plus $20 million from what it was this past season. Okay, that's number one. Number two. With that being said, if you are George Pickens, let me be very, very clear. Don't have Micah Parsons standing next to you if you want money from Jerry Jones. We all know that how Jerry Jones handled that stuff was a bit personal.
Yep.
And we all know that Jerry Jones takes his money very, very personally in terms of what he's doling. Some would argue it's more important to him to win during negotiations clearly than winning Super Bowls because he ain't done it in 30 years, okay? So we got to understand that, all right? Don't have Micah Parsons, your former teammate, okay, or the former Dallas Cowboy, and who's represented by the same agent that Jerry used to refuse to talk to. That's not how you get your money, okay? We got to do negotiations 101. Appearances matter. Optics matter. You don't agitate the people on the other side of the negotiating table that's cutting the check. Yeah. You understand? You try to you try to appease them just a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be mindful of that. So George got to recognize that. Of course he deserves his money. Over 1,400 receiving yards, 93 receptions. By the way, played all 17 games, 3 of the last 4 seasons. Brother don't miss work. So we appreciate that. But there were a couple of times when he showed up to work, but he really didn't show up. We all pointed that out. It was right there on film. Mm-hmm. You understand? Where you were making business decisions, where you wasn't going all out in a lot of people's eyes. It's not me talking. These are the analysts that were covering the game. These are the analysts that were covering the game, not just live in terms of play-by-play or color commentary, but in the aftermath of it, postseason or post-game coverage. The point is, when you've got that stuff during a negotiation, the other side is always looking for an excuse to get the most out of you for the least amount of dollars they have to dole out. And nobody is fixated on that more so than Jerry Jones. So we got to remember that, and we got to remember, should he be a priority for the Cowboys this season? No, because your defense was trash. Yeah. So you've got to upgrade that. But it doesn't mean he wasn't important, because we've seen, even with Dak, even with CeeDee Lamb, when it's just them, you usually need more. And Pickens was an incredible help to the Dallas Cowboys offense.
I also want to go back to this, okay? Stephen A., you brought up that point, and I don't know if Pickens is even negotiating with the Cowboys. I don't know if he's
expected to. He's expected.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't know if he's gung-ho to go back, right? Like, you think about, to your point, who is his agent? David Mulligetta, right? Mm-hmm. And you think about where he is now. George Pickens is on the market. This ain't no situation where Dallas controls rights or they do anything. Right. He's on the market for every team in the NFL. Yes. So there is no reason.
You said
for
agent, David Moolah getter.
There is no
he gonna get that moolah. Hey, they gonna get that moolah.
There is no reason for George Pickens to show any I'm a Dallas Cowboy in this negotiation
But then let me
process.
ask you this. Can they win without him? Can the Cowboys win without him?
I believe they can. But to Mad Dog's point, I don't think you need two number ones. You absolutely need a number two that can play at a high level consistently throughout the season. But like George Pickens is a phenomenal wide receiver, but he's going to want to be paid as a one. And guess what Dallas has right now? A number one wide receiver. He's not going to make more money than CeeDee Lamb. And I'm not sure if his agent or he is okay with that because there are 31 other teams in this league.
Ain't no 31 other teams giving him $36 million a year. They ain't doing it.
Listen to what I'm saying. When you have a season like that and desperation kicks in, all you need is three. All you need is three to say, we want you, and we going to negotiate against whoever offering you contract. That's how it goes. This is what I want to correct. I don't want people to think that George Pickens is running up and down the neighborhood saying, please, Cowboys, sign me. He's not.
But I got something to say in response to that. It's not me, because usually I'm the one taking the hits for stuff like this, but it's not me. Because I'm the friendly neighborhood commentator.
Stop playing. You are not friendly.
Friendly is the wrong word.
Well,
friendly.
I can be. I have a heart sometimes. The point that I'm trying to make to you is this. You guys pointed out when it came to Pickens, no one has ever questioned his talent.
Yeah.
Ever. What they've questioned was his will, his want to. At times in Pittsburgh, we didn't blame him for that because he never had a quarterback with Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky's, all of these other folks. No, we didn't blame him for that. But we did look at them and say, okay, there's things you could have done to show more effort. And then there were a couple occasions this year in Dallas. Those are the kind of things that get you.
Make you nervous.
It doesn't prevent you from getting the bag, meaning $30+ million, because his market value at this particular moment in time is about $30 million, all right? If they franchised him, it would be 1 year, $28 million. But his market value is at about $30 million. He'll get that. But when you talk about CeeDee Lamb money, Justin Jefferson money, that kind of stuff, no, nobody's going to do that.
Well, he did rank.
Don't say nobody. And all it takes is one team to love you.
He did rank third in the NFL in receiving yards this past season. Yeah,
He'll
he was
get
34.
They were 8, 9, and 1 with him.
Okay.
8, 9, and 1.
That's not all on him, of course. Coming up here on Thursday.
8, 9, and 1. 8, 9, and 1.
What was the original question? Should he be the first priority?
Jackson Smith-Njigba is Seattle's not-so-secret weapon, but will he be the difference between another Seahawks title or not? Plus, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens were among the biggest disappointments in the NFL this past season. Hear why some of my friends here think his fortunes will greatly improve in 2026. More First Take.